What's up, y'all? Yo, what's up, champ? What's up, MP? How's everyone doing today? Just checking in. What's up, Kig? Good afternoon. What's up? Look at this. We got ourselves a squeezer, y'all. It's been a minute, huh? Some shorts got comfortable. That's what that is. Where's chat at? Where you at, chat? Where you at? Yo. Reverse split, November 19th. SMX, that's right. Funky, I mean, they've been doing a lot of splits, but certainly a split pump there, which is beautiful. Good to see. I'm gonna show you what we do. Just give me a sec, chat. How's everyone doing today? Who's ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow? Whatever, dude. You love cooking. All right, SMX. All right, let's see here. 28 recent split. Okay, here's the game we play. What's running? We haven't had a runner. Small cap's been slow. All of a sudden, we got a runner. Okay. Was there a catalyst? I see quite a few PRs here for today. Mostly this morning. SMX's Precious Metals Conference presentation just reframed the global proof narrative. Gravitational modern gold economy, blah. Metals conference, how SMX turned Dubai's most powerful room into a preview of the next global standard. There are moments when an industry realizes the ground beneath it is shifting. This is from the PR, by the way. It's a pump. Yesterday at the 25 DMCC Precious Metals Conference, that moment arrived. It wasn't loud, wasn't dramatic. Sharp silence filled that room. Finished presenting, every person understood what they had just seen. Gold. This is the PR. Gold. Sorry. Where are we at? Where'd you go? Gold, the most tradition-bound asset on Earth, had finally met a system capable of outclassing the assumptions it has relied on for centuries. Dubai did not gather the usual crowd, it gathered the decision makers, the heads of refineries, the custodians of the vaults. See where we're going here, by the way? How well written this is. Very well written. Good copy. Buoy on this, buoy on that. Arbiters of truth. These are the arbiters of truth in the market where a single false claim can instantly collapse value. SMX Wall, this is like ChatGPT, by the way. Poetic, right? And replace belief with chemistry. This was definitely written by AI, in my opinion. Gold's identity has always been an upstream secret, blah, blah, blah. Okay? That's what's going on. They left everyone silent. That being said, let's take a closer look. Basically, they're taking gold to a new standard and this and this and this. Okay. They just did a split. Why did they do a split? Because they were a penny stock. 1 for 8. Take the price, divide it by 8, right? So on this day, divide that by 8, right? And they were sub $1. They did a reverse split to maintain compliance with NASDAQ. You got to maintain $1. So they did a reverse split. Guess what? They did that just in October. So they did it in October. They did it again in November. So there's always a danger when they do it again in November and you're loading it that they're going to continuously dump. But instead, big pump, right? Look, this was the last split, what they did with it. They did a 1 for... they did a 91 for 1,000. Weird tricksters here. Let's do some more due diligence, guys. It's a great opportunity to go through, check this out, but also be ready because there's going to probably be more of these coming up. And this could be the start of a new cycle of chaser market and small cap right now. This could be the catalyst for it. We'll need to see another one. So far, it's been one-off big runners with a lack of follow through, right? Take these fucking headphones off, guys. Sorry. I'm like hearing my own voice. Does that make sense? All right. So we've got a split here and they literally just dumped. 0 pump. 1 pump day where volume came in and they dumped into it, right? They did a split just prior to that too. All right. So did a split. 1 for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 6, they PR. There's a little bit of volume on day 4 too. When I say day 4, I mean post-split. This would be day 1 post-split. And I find this level to be very key. Okay? I find this level to be very key. Who doesn't know what a reverse split is or what we're talking about or why? Who doesn't know what a reverse split pump is? Who's never heard that term? Let me know in chat. If you don't know something, please let me know. There's going to be we are actually just doing a recap. I want you guys to be back here tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern. I know it's Thanksgiving, but I already cleared it with my wife. Just as a thank you to the trading community tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the free masterclass tomorrow. We'll have no distractions. We'll be going through what I believe the best strategies are going to be going into 2026. And what I think the fastest way is going to be to change your game and change your trading future finally. Or if you're just starting, the safest way to go about figuring out how to find edge going into 2026. Okay? So tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern, I will be here on YouTube. Okay? I will be live, and I will be without gatekeeping in any sense, dropping as much juice as I can within those 2 hours as I can. Okay? Reverse split pump. Very basic premise. But a very powerful one, of strategy that I developed in 2016, 2017. Essentially watching a bunch of the small cap runners and trading the small cap runners and tracking the small cap runners. And at a certain point, I had noticed throughout my tracking that there were one of the main things that I kept seeing pop up on the runners I was trading was this little fucking thing, this little split day. Okay. Right there, that little S. Recent reverse split. Okay. So I would say, shit, recent split. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Eventually I looked into it. Well, it's very, very important scenario fundamentally that goes on within small cap tickers specifically, right? Where stocks have to maintain $1 to maintain compliance with NASDAQ. When they dip under $1 for a certain amount of time, they're no longer compliant. They will get a notice from NASDAQ saying, hey, you're not compliant. Okay. Then they're allowed to do a reverse split. That's how they are going to get most of them to get their price back over $1. Will do a reverse split. Okay. Most of them end up under $1 because they need money and they have to do offerings. And so they have to dump, right? Like I keep talking about, and like I'm really going to get into detail about tomorrow, right? This is the problem with small cap and why people think it's a scam. There is a big picture scam going on. And the cool part is once you understand that, you can be on the right side of that without being a scammer. And I'll get more into that tomorrow, especially. Okay. But this was the first strategy where I developed this strategy and said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to trade what anyone ever says again. I'm going to find ideas like this till the end of time if I can. Okay. It's a strategy that made me hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars early on. And then I released it in my guide in 2018. And then it was released by some other people, and prominent YouTubers got a hold of it and put it online. Okay. In 2019. And there was certainly, it was the first time I had experienced a very serious decline in edge of a strategy based off of giving it out. Specifically because the idea is they become a low float, right? So say they do a 10 for 1, that means every 10 shares become 1 share. Okay. So if they have a 10 million share float, now their float is only 1 million. Or if it was 100 million, now their float is only 10 million. So you've got a higher price stock, though it's still usually under $10, okay, with a very low float. So it's something fresh, ready to pump. And now that they have a thinly traded stock, they have a low float, generally speaking, they're going to dilute again. They have room to then thicken that float up and sell shares. So the idea of that is for them to maintain compliance. Once they have gotten a notification from NASDAQ saying, hey, you need to get back in compliance, get your stock price over $1. And there are other compliance rules, but this is the main one that we deal with in small cap. They say, okay, do 8 for 1. They get their price over $1. What happens if they get their price over $1? Well, they need to then close over $1 for 10 days straight, right? 10 days straight. They need to close over $1. Holy shit. When I put 2 and 2 together finally and saw that back in the day, these things would fade towards $1. They need to hold 10 days, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 3, day 5, fade towards $1. Okay. Almost like clockwork, PR. Boom. Almost like clockwork, PR. Boom. Positive PRs. Okay. It's the first circumstances where I found somewhat of a broken slot machine setup. Now, it is much more crowded than it was back then. It was much more crowded. It is much more crowded than it was back then. It's not always there. But we've got a lot of splits. When do I play them? When do I get interested in them? Well, when shit like this happens. Okay? So, I can tell you unequivocally, my favorite strategy going into tomorrow, going into the next day, is going to be reverse split pump. I can say that without hesitation. Does that make sense? Yes or no, chat? I won't go on until I get like 20 eggplant emojis right now. It was the first circumstance where I said, wow, this is almost like insider trading. I know that what the company wants to do. And from that point forward, now it's not like that, but every trade I want to be in the shoes of the company. What are they trying to do? I want to be in the shoes of the people running the offerings. What do they want to do? Where do they want price to go? And what will they do to price at said level? I want to know where the short sellers are going to be. I want to be in their shoes. Where will they cover? Yes or no? I think one eggplant so far. Oh, there's more. There's more. Sorry. There's more. Okay, that's good enough. So they've been slower, but right now, like I said, everything comes and goes. Even back then, I wasn't just trading splits every fucking time. I was trading them when they got hot. When are they hot? Well, I need to see one work. Okay? So, when we talk about a trading playbook, having your trading playbook, right? When do I then say, hey, fuck, okay, let's use this setup, right? Like a coach. Well, when the defense sets up like this and you know, the game is that and here's the score, this is when I use that setup. This is when I use that fucking setup. Yeah? Y'all want to look through some with me or no? And see if we can't find a sympathy? Yes or no, chat? Yes or no? I'm going to teach you one thing. Then I want you to be back tomorrow at 11 Eastern. Because I'm going to drop as much knowledge as I can. As compact of a package as I can for 2 hours tomorrow. That way I don't have to go be with the in-laws all day. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. If my in-laws are here listening, love you guys. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'm just kidding. Fuck yeah, Jay. Be there tomorrow. Let's do it. No distractions. SMX. Here's your hour chart. Right? That happens because of my friends, all my besties. Getting over aggressive on a fucking Wednesday before Thanksgiving. All right. Let's take a peek really fast at what we got going on underneath the hood here. Low float. Australia. I don't have the best Australian accent. Australia. Call that that's not a knife. Here's a knife. That's all I got. Sorry, guys. Groggy, right? Anyways. Low float. Australian. They got a little tiny bit of cash. They got a little bit of cash, right? Like, ain't got that much cash. Warrants, 24 cents. Did a split. So this company, guys, with $300,000 just revolutionized the gold standard forever and ever. Just so you know. Things will never be the same in this world thanks to SMX. But look at this fucking move. It's a beautiful squeeze. And what you see when you see this is actually short brokers calling in shares. All right. Let's do what I would do, which is what I do and what I'm going to do. Do what we do. If I wasn't teaching, I'd just be with my family like I was all day. They're obviously on break. But say tomorrow there was trading. We will be together on Friday morning as well, by the way. So be ready for that. I'll be with you guys all week. Real quick. LGHL. Split today. How do I know? Because it says that they're up 1,500%. That means that they did a split today. Their float was 6.9 billion. Nice. SMX, KTTA had a nice move today. Just looking through my scan here, we're going to go through these tickers really fast and see if any of them's a reverse split. That's game number 1. Understood? Okay, this is game number 1. Is this. Here's my scan. I'm going to go through these tickers. Okay, well, first we're going to go to SMX. Where did it come from? Where did it go to? Right, this is the first. Let's try to figure out a price range of split we want to trade in the first place. All right, here's our daily. Split. They did a split in the 8s. They faded to the 3s. Today, they went from 6 to 18. So I'll be looking for any reverse split sub 10, essentially, and over $2 to $3. It's a pretty vague, wide range of split for me to look at right now, in my opinion. Right? This thing specifically went from 6. This thing specifically went from 6. SMX. Break it down. Here's your daily. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll be looking for maybe something that split 5 or 6 or 7 days ago. It could be yesterday. It could be today as well. But specifically, if it's closer to that, then the better, right? If it's something that maybe was split in the higher range, then faded to the 4s or 3s, even better. What sector is SMX in? They're Australian. They're specialty business services, industrials, gold, metals, okay, is where I'd put them. Gold, metals, industrial services, blah, 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 NASDAQ. All right. So let's go real quick. I just want to keep you with me, right? Here is the leader, SMX. Will it create something? Maybe. Will it? Maybe not. But things are heating up a little bit. I'd love to see anything pop tomorrow. That will give me, I'm sorry, on Friday. That will give us something to build upon going into the end of the year. I'm really hoping so. Okay. So quickly, last thing we're going to do. Like I said, I go to my scan. First, I'm going to hit these. First, I'm going to hit the tickers on my scan. Okay. I have other scans that I can use, like an after-hour scan and stuff like that. But for now, we'll just use my basic scanner. Let's get to the tickers. So the first, we've got SMX. KTTA won't be one because they, although a great run, it's not a split pump. And they were running independently earlier. ZYXA, not a split pump. Okay. I am only looking through the top percent gainers right now for split pumps. I already know Amber wasn't because we looked at that pre-market together. Go back and watch pre-market. Go back and watch yesterday's. Please, 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 please. Watch all the webinars from this week. They're the most relevant ones. Just call a big gap down. That looks like bad news to me on KALA, probably bad biotech news. And maybe this too, maybe offering either way. Not a split pump. They're going to do a split at some point, but they're not a split pump. ADTX. Splits have occurred here. Okay. This split pump, technically speaking, a little bit further out. Did they put out a PR? They did. They put out an after-hour PR. Not an after-hours PR, but they do have a 4K. I'm sorry, a Form 4 after-hours. Someone disposed of stock. $3.20. Not a lot. One. It's nothing important in terms of their forms. They're a DAT too. They mentioned that they're a DAT on the 19th. No real movement till now. This PR, you guys don't have it, but the digital asset treasury PR, you know, a couple months ago was moving tickers like unbelievably. Unbelievably. Where'd you guys go? I just lost you guys, chat. Where'd chat go? Oh, there you are. Take a quick look at WTO. I might play this one tomorrow. Sorry, I'm so fucking thirsty right now. Great look. Great look. Great look for tomorrow. Yes. Don't hate it. Right? Don't hate it. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a Chinese pump if I go back just by memory. That's what a Chinese pump and dump looks like. Chinese a pump and dump. Stupid Americans. Sorry, guys. I'm allowed to say that. I'm Korean. Okay. You can't. Racist fuckers. Okay. Actually, I have my permission. I don't care. WTO. China. Yeah, that's a Chinese pump if I ever seen one. Only issue there is it's a Chinese pump and they can be unpredictable, but they can also pump the shit out of their stuff. Okay. So, that's all. Technology, consumer electronics. United Time Technology Co. Limited. My mom's Korean. She named all her kids starting with R. It's funny. Bunch of warrants, exercise price at 33 cents on WTO. And then they just did a split too, so. So just be careful with the fact that they could go lower. All of these can go lower, obviously, but I don't hate it. And this is the idea, right? They did their split. They did a 1-for-100 split. Okay. They did a 1-for-100 split. Yeah. Do you know what that put their price at on this day? Do you know what their price was at 150 was at? 1 for 100, you guys? Just to give you context of what you're trading, and it's really important that you have said context while you're trading of what it is that you're trading. Okay? So, WTO, I'm just going to look back. I'm just going to go through the list really fast of what I see on the scan first. Okay. Of the scan first is what's important. That will be generally, if I can find a split that's on the scan first, generally speaking, that's going to be the first sympathy play. Generally speaking, that's going to be the strongest play to come from SMX. Okay. Does that make sense? That's why I go scan first. I'm going to keep looking through real fast. I don't really see too much. QNTM. Quantum Biopharma's got a nice sounding name. Anything with the name Quantum is noise. Traded this back in the day. Remember this one? Early in the year. Day 2 of their move already off of the 5s for QNTM. It ain't it for me. Again, I'm trying to get to what is going to move best tomorrow, if I can find that today. If not, tomorrow morning. MNDR, nice, decent little first Green Day bounce, right? FGDB there. Where did it get to? It got to highs a day from the morning, pre-market high area, just over VWAP. Didn't quite get to 4 either, just kind of tested the 3 area and hanging out. That's it for me there. It's nothing for me that I'd be looking at personally. BQ sounds Chinese. They are Chinese. The Chinese pumping up as well. Not a recent split. Not interested. WAI. Somewhat recent split in September. Y sounds like Chinese to me. WAI. Top King win. Chinese. So a bunch of Chinese tickers on the scan. Something also to keep in the back of your mind. There might be something going on with China at the moment. Just SMX isn't, right? I thought they were back in the day. I didn't know they were Australian. Name that movie. CDT. Kind of somewhat recent split. Earnings. Just a long time ago on that split. I'm almost down through my scan to an area where it's inconsequential now. Okay, so now I dig. Sorry, guys. I'm just literally going through them fast, like as if you weren't here. Okay, so if I was just by myself and you guys weren't here, that would have been enough for me to discount every single ticker that I just went through the daily chart on. Why? None of them were a split. None of them in the right price range or the right split or the right chart for me right now. Very simply put, okay? If I'm wrong and one of these fucking things runs, then great. I'll figure out what that was and maybe I'll be on the trail to something else. Okay? I got to be nimble. I've got to be creative. I've got to be forward-seeking. I've got to be adaptive. Being long is much different than being short. There are so many similarities to being good at both of them. Yeah? But this is way different. This is like, you know, and I don't want to sit around and look at shit that ain't going to move. And that's what's so difficult about trading stocks is that what's going to move next? How do you find that? That's what I spent 10 years doing. It's what I got really good at doing early on and was able to do successfully for a long time. It's why everyone else moved on to futures. That's why everyone else moved on to other shit, because they couldn't figure out how to actually successfully be long and what the game was that they were playing. And they're trading a bunch of breakouts on a bunch of shit where they're being dumped on like the rest of the sheep. They never figured out what the big picture game was. And then how to then get good risk reward and adapt and understand it's cyclical and then when to play what. Very simply put. Yeah? Okay, let's do what I would do next if I didn't see any splits. I saw a few splits on there. I just didn't see any really good ones that would make sense to me. This is dilutiontracker.com. I'm going to get you guys a link. I'm going to see if they'll hook me up specifically because I've been pushing their shit. I don't even push their shit. I've been using it and literally for free, just telling everyone that you should use this shit since they came out because it's really made my life from a fundamental standpoint much easier. And the fundamentals in small cap are everything. They're not everything, but they're fucking important. Okay? They're the reason that it's not a scam, that this reverse split, pump, cycle, dump on retail, toxic dilution, death spiral financing's all legal because they tell you that what they're doing. They tell you in their earnings and they tell you in the PR, right? They'll be like, listen, y'all, there's a high chance we're going to cure cancer next week, but we're not a good investment. You know, they'll be like, yeah, we're pretty much the best company you've ever seen in your fucking life. Actually, we have this new miracle drug. You never have to wipe your ass again. Stays clean forever. You just have to take this pill. But don't invest in us because and they'll tell you, you go to their filings. In fact, we have this many shares to dump on your fucking dumbass. In this case, we've got 1,000. Like, this isn't a great example because of the price that it's trading at, but they will give you the price. Here's a good one. We've got 1 million shares to dump on you with a conversion price of $3.33. This is CDT. Okay. So when CDT hits the price of $3.33, these guys can transfer 1 million shares, poof, into thin air that weren't being traded in the open markets with us and dump them. Okay. They tell you that. We know that. We know that. That's why when the price of that ticker gets to 4 or 5, you're going to end up with 1 million shares. Someone with 1 million share position, essentially, with those shares to get rid of, because they are not there to be investors. They're there to make money. Think of it like a payday loan, right? Who gets payday loans? People with shit credit. I've been there. Drug addicts. I've been there. You know what I mean? That's who goes to those places. People who don't have bank accounts and shit. Can't get bank accounts. Those are the types of loans that the companies that we trade get. And the worse the markets get, and the more bearish and the markets get, the worse it gets. The more bankruptcies we're going to see. And bankruptcies provide amazing opportunities for long trades, believe it or not. Anyways, I get excited about this shit. Tomorrow, we'll get deep into it in a more lecture-styled fashion. Does that sound good? I wouldn't miss it if I were you. Put it that way. Got something special planned. Let's finish this lesson, and then we'll get into tomorrow. Dilution tracker. Okay, see this right here? Oh, yeah? See that right there? That means reverse split. I asked Mrs. Wolf for coffee before she took off, and she didn't bring it up here, so kind of upset at the moment, but that's what it is, right? Ready? Who's ready? Should I stop? I feel all alone right now. Here's all the splits. Vote approve, vote approve, vote approve. These are all the tickers that you guys trade and you watch and you get fucking FOMO on. These are all those tickers. Okay? That you lose on, that you buy fucking highs through and get dumped on over and over. It's all these tickers over and over. They've already planned. These ones have votes approved, right? Let's get a good look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All these tickers, SCNX, UBXG. These are tickers you're going to see on your scan coming up. BFRG. These are tickers I've traded over the last 10 years. NBY, I traded them. PALI, traded them. DFLI just ran huge. Vote approved. SXTP, traded them. NVVE, I just slapped that. Just made 4 Gs on that 2 weeks ago or whatever on NVVE. Vote approved. VRME, traded them. I've traded all these GLBS. 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 GLBS taught me what sector momentum was. I've made over $20-something thousand on this ticker back in the day. Maybe more if we go back to 16, 17, 18. Here's 17. Here's 16. When DRYS went to 300 or whatever it was at the time. GLBS shipping. We've got a lot of fond memories with these things. But again, dog shit. Context, understanding what we're trading right now is what I'm trying to paint a picture for. All of these tickers, they're all going to do it, okay? So anything that's going up in small cap will come down into a split. It's their MO. It's what they do. It's how they survive. It's how they pay the bills. It's how they keep the fucking bills, the lights on and the employees paid. Yeah? Vote approve, vote approve, vote approve. There's too many right now. Holy shit. Anyways, you can go right on through that list if you want. Here's what I'm more concerned with. Here are all the ones that are upcoming. You might be long some of these things. Be careful. You don't want to be long going into the split. You don't want to be long going into a split. Right? These are all upcoming. KXIN, PMN, IVF, I think was just on my scan today or recently, I think. Maybe. If I'm not mistaken, my memory's getting better, actually, lately. I've been working on it. Okay. Here's what's important, right? This is where I would focus my energy on. Except for some reason, ZYXI on top of my scan right now. It's just not a recent split. But, okay. This is what we're going to do. And then we're going to wrap up. But I'm going to go through this list right here. These are all the recent splits. Here is SMX. See that right there? There's SMX. So one of these three, this is not science. This is the art of finding the next ticker that I have used forever and has served me so well. Sometimes this process produces for me one sympathy play that I can take to the fucking bank with conviction. Okay? Sometimes I'm left with 3 or 4 that I might just spray shares at. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes I'm left with tickers, and tomorrow they do nothing. That's what we've seen this week. That's what we saw last week. I was concerned with the INHD move. Because of the lack of follow through, right? So if I'm looking for a simp, I don't want to be simping. I don't want to be looking for momentum when intraday it didn't have any follow through and actually isn't even on top of my scan. Does that make sense? This is what INHD did. Amazing move. But at the end of the day, close red ain't it in terms of should I be aggressively finding a sympathy play or not. Does that make sense? I don't care who's listening or not. Who fucking cares? I'm just going to finish this lecture for myself. Anyways, SMX. Now I'm going to just guide you through these tickers really fast and give you my opinion. Starting at the top, LGHL. Split today, okay? I don't like trading splits on day one. Could this go to fucking and be the one? Because it could, just off the back of SMX. I suppose it could. Okay. Sorry if you're asking questions. I'm not looking right now. I'm just talking. Les professeurs. Oh, what the fuck? Speaking of which, you know what I'm sacrificing for you fuckers right now? And you bitches? No, I'm sorry. If you got kids and stuff watching, I'm so sorry. Oh, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Madwicki, Martinelli. Sorry, guys. I missed this. I missed probably what would have been 20 of the most enjoyable minutes of my week for you guys right now. I hope you know. I hope you know that. I hope you know. I'm surprised I didn't hear my son going absolutely nuts down there. That sucks. Well, I'll have some good. At least we won. I'm sorry, MP. I tried to not cuss because when I was learning, and I still, like, my kids are, we homeschool now. So I try my best to not cuss, but I get passionate about this stuff, guys. LGHL, day one split. I don't like trading splits on day one. It's one of my main rules. I rarely will. They are Chinese. This is the point in time where I start a watch list and track splits, just in case splits are going to be hot, because they can get hot for weeks, guys. It can be, they can get hot for weeks. And here's what happens. SMX split, does a reverse split pump. Well, any other company who's sitting there with their split approved, ready to go, blah, 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 or any of the companies who just did a split would think to themselves, if it's me, and this is how I want you to think, is like, if you are the company now, okay, really fast. If you are any of these companies, okay, SMX just did their split. If I am JXG, Mickey, EasyGo, I've traded all of these tickers in the past. BLMZ, I've traded them. WTO, I've traded them. MHUA, spit on that thing. RJet, okay, we've traded all these tickers. ASNS, EPWK, traded them. YGMZ, a lot of Chinese shit on here right now, okay? Anyways, if I'm one of these tickers, I'm thinking PR, boys and girls, let's go to town. Does that make sense? Same thing. The people running the offerings, the people pumping and dumping know more intimately than me even, maybe. I could probably work in their office in terms of when it's time to step on the gas pedal. Okay? I'm hoping we get follow through. LGHL, day of the split, don't care. I hope it runs either way. Do this really fast, y'all, so we can get to what's going to happen here. Okay. PHGE was from yesterday. They did a split in the 5s. They faded to the 470 range today. And they already caught a bid after hour, it looks like, though very illiquid. So just a few buys. This was 1,000 shares. This was 200 shares, and this was another 129 shares. So they've popped, 30 cents on just a few shares. It's illiquid at the moment. And this is what happens. Post-split, they get illiquid. Generally speaking, and they'll fade. And that was the beautiful part, is back in the day, I'd let it fade towards $1, start to load with the risk basically at or around a low one. Look for a pop. The PR would come. In fact, my favorite was when I had loaded heavily. It's like day 5, day 6 post split. Illiquid ticker. They put out a PR the next day, right? Thing goes mad. I made 35, I forget exactly, $36,000 on this trade. After I close it, I get a call from the broker. I get a call from Schwab. And they're like, excuse me, how, it was basically my trade flagged their system for insider trading. They wanted to know why I was loading shares the day before PR came out on an illiquid stock. And I'm sitting there talking to this rep, from Schwab, and explaining to them what a pump and dump is and what a reverse split pump is. What I just explained to you guys, that strategy, I started explaining to this guy, well, listen, they have to maintain compliance. I don't know, shit from Dick over here, right? I don't know anyone or anything. I'm just a guy with a strategy based around what this company is doing. And the guy was like, it was maybe a 10 or 15-minute conversation, and he was super interested. You know, he's like, that's actually amazing. I can't, you know, and blah, blah. They left me on my way. That's when you know you have edge. That's, you know, when a strategy has edge, is when your broker's calling you asking if you're insider trading. Yeah. Okay. Let me finish this. I gotta go. Smash the like if you're enjoying these sessions, please. It helps. Smash a like. Leave comment down below if we've been helping you. Okay, and then be here tomorrow. Share it with a friend. If you got a friend who's been struggling, let us know it's been helping, man. I don't like going through the YouTube community trading stuff so much just because it's really bad. There's very little I see that adds to my trading life. In fact, it's the opposite. I just feel bad for most people who watch most of the stuff that's on here. But there's some really good stuff too. And I'm going to be, it's my goal tomorrow to point you guys in the right direction of what I think some of the more reliable content is as well. I think it's super, super, super fucking important to round out your trading ideas, not just from one person. Okay? And there's a lot to that, but what if the one person and the only ideas in your mind are coming from a fraud or a fucking scammer? High chance of that in our niche, okay? That's A. B, if it's something that everyone else is doing and you have no strategy outside of what everyone around you is doing, you're probably fucked too, okay? Now, it's not about trading everything, but it is about discovering everything that you can. I got really good at trading by leaving no stone unturned. And through that process, I realized how many stones I was the first, not the first to unturn, but the first to start talking about what was there. And that there were stones that people tell you not to turn over, that you got to turn over if you want to be fucking successful in this game. All right. PHGE, they split yesterday in the 5s. Faded the 470s, 490s now. I'm just doing my due diligence on the side really quick. PHGE, they're US, their float's 1.5. Biotech, I like that. Biotech, generally speaking, have a lot of good PRs that they can line up for you guys. They've got an ATM with 5 mil in it. That's an at the market offering. They got some other shit. So they have some stuff already in place. If they want to dump shares, no problem. They can already dump some shares. That's PHGE. I'm sure that they've got something lined up. I'm sure that we'll probably see a PR from them at some point. I don't hate the look of it. I want it to fade for a few more days if it could. But there's certainly something worth keeping an eye on. RJet. Fuck that. I just don't like the look of how it looks right there with that big day. And granted, that's, you know, there's a split and some other stuff going on here. It's just out of the range I would trade anyways. I don't need to look at it. Here's MHUA, $11 stock. Can they run it? Yes, they could. Am I going to trade it out of the 11s on a reverse split? No. Because the premise for me post-split is that the bottom, the floor for them is essentially $1. Can they go below $1? They do. They will. But I don't trade splits that are higher priced. Personally, I don't trade them once they get over $10. It's a rule that's kept me safe over time. Their MO, generally speaking, 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20 is to dump. They're going to go to 0. They're going to split. So if you understand that phenomenon, it keeps you on the right side of these trades. It keeps you on the front side, right? Or it keeps you on trading from good areas, backside where there may be some decent bounce left in it, or where there might be an impetus for these companies to continue to pump. Very simply put. Here's WTO. We looked at this. Don't hate the look of it. Okay. Don't hate the look of it, but also very much so a Chinese pump. Okay. Which works both ways. Let's see. What I generally like to do is what do they do post split? Okay. What do they do? What's their MO post split, in other words? Yeah. So eyes on them, certainly. Sorry, I'm going to speed through these now. BLMZ did a split a few days ago. Interesting, kind of at the dollar range. So there are a couple kind of in the dollar range right now. Certainly they like to dump, right? They certainly like to dump if you look at what they've done recently. Again, you have to look at this ticker and say, oh, look, it's a dollar stock, but it wasn't for the last however many, for the last year, they were actually trading at a multiple much lower, right? So keep that in mind, that all of this action that you're seeing is not $1 to $3. This is all like 10 cents to 30 cents or whatever else it may be post split. BLMZ did a 1 for 10 split, right? So exactly like I said, this is not $2.40 at this point in time. This is 24 cents. Yeah, divide by 10, 24 cents. 30 cents, 24 cents is the range they were trading in. That's the shit that you're trading. Most of the stocks you're, oh, I'm trading a $7 stock. Yeah. 6 months ago, they were a 5-cent stock, guys. Piece of shit. Right? So I am looking for that point in time across all these tickers where they're going to be pumping. And I'm looking for the right market to then capitalize to the best of my ability. BLMZ, it's around $1. It certainly would be on the radar. 3 mil in the float, it's low. Their offering ability is somewhat low. All these tickers. This is also why I look for gap downs like this. Gap downs like this, generally speaking, indicate a recent offering, right? So easy go as that. Probably an offering recently, sub 1, right? And then they did this split. That being said, 1, 2, 3, they're day 4 on easy go. Miggy, another one, MIGI. They're just consolidating post split, day 4. Moss Infrastructure Group. Sorry, one sec, guys. And this is something where if it's me, I'm not going to do this with you guys for the full period of time, but I would go through each of these charts and these tickers and just kind of see what's going on in the background. These guys have a sub 1 million share float. They've got 1 million to dump and they're 1.5 and an ATM to dump, so 1.5 million shares, which isn't that many million shares. They can get rid of 1.5 million shares like that if they get 100 million in volume. Yeah. It's not a bad looking chart. It's not a bad looking range if they PR'd. Okay. They are financial services, cryptocurrency mining, and a digital asset management. Oh, fuck me. They're Australian too, guys. Hear that? You fucking hear that? All right, that gets me kind of hard. I mean, I don't mean it like that, but like totally mean it like that, but not like that. Ew. Does that make sense? They got some shares to dump. They got some room on the chart. It looks like they've, come far from their highs. They've sold far. There's been a huge sell-off. That's because they were running in October on DAT on DAT news, right? That's what it looks like to me. This jumps straight towards the top of my list. It's in the right country. It's in the right price range, 5s. They did a split in the 6s. It's in the 4s and 5s. This would jump very high on my list. If they were to PR, I would be very aggressively try to get shares early if it didn't jump too high. And then if I could get the first wave, I would certainly be looking to trade this after hours or pre-market. Does that make sense? I really hope this makes sense, Chad. It's Blue's Clues, guys. It's not rocket science. It's 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, they're Australian. They're a recent split. They're from the 5s and 6s. They're into crypto and shit. Now, SMX is gold and the tech behind gold and AI gold and the gold standard, this and that. They're precious metals, but it's close enough for me. Does that make sense? That would be, in other words, just if I'm looking at this group of stocks, which is the closest, this is the closest so far. Let me know if this makes sense or I'll just stop right now. Because I try to explain this stuff so it's very simple for you to understand. How to find the next one and the next one and the next one, my friends. Look, Australian. Sub 1 float, post split. Okay. Cryptocurrency mining, digital asset management, financial shit. Okay. This isn't a Dux formula, guys. This has nothing to do with however many float rotations and all that good shit. That's something different. H.C. Wainwright, a name I love to see when I'm trading. I love to see them involved. They love to pump. Understood? And dump. And they're good at it. And they're good at bringing volume. So there's been no volume post pump yet. They're Australian. They're in the right price range. This is numero uno on my fucking list right now for what will run next. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to get caught up in SMX and get all fucked by that. I'm trying to see if that's... And guess what? If Miggy runs next, I can find the next one and the next one like this over and over and over until there ain't nothing left to find. Understood? Yes or no, chat? This made a move 2 months ago. It's not a freshie, but it also was a much more low volume move. 1 for 20. So this was like a million. That was like 20 million in volume on this day. And it was trading on a stock that went from 50 cents to $1, if that makes sense, right? Pre-split. That's what that was. Which actually isn't even that much, honestly, that much volume on a stock that's going from 50 cents to $1. Okay, moving on. Miggy's number 1 for me now. How would I play this? I could immediately tell you that I could play this from a daily chart perspective in my mind with a 437 risk sort of idea. Lows on the daily would be how I would start to size in on something like this, because it's equally important, not just to find it, but then how do I enter, right? Especially in a liquid sympathy play. Here's that line I was talking about. Now we've got a couple days based above that, even though the volume's somewhat low. It would be enough for me to say, mid-high 4s ultimately as that sort of risk idea that I would size into. So in other words, tomorrow perhaps, I'd kind of want to see this run earlier. Tomorrow perhaps something like that, if we could get priced down to that level. If not, if they PR, right, that would change the game. If they PR and volume comes in, then I will potentially treat it a little bit differently. If I were to size into a position, it would be based off of this daily risk idea personally. Okay, so I wouldn't be too gung-ho and then be stopped out on a day like today, if that makes sense. I would be spraying a couple of orders, and in a liquid nature, it'd be tough to get filled anyways, because it is a liquid right now. But this concept I'm teaching you guys about how to find the next ticker and the next one and the next one isn't just for splits, guys. This applies for every fucking strategy I use. How to find, it could be anything. Anything that runs, how to find what will run next. This is what I'm teaching you. It's a beautiful, beautiful skill to have. Everyone's stuck in yesterday's shit and 2 weeks ago shit or 2 months ago shit. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Miggy jumped really high onto my list. I'm just gonna look through the splits really fast. I do have to go. Be here for tomorrow. It's important. I'm giving you something special too. Miggy. Miggy was the nickname of my best friend in college soccer. The fuck is that? JXG, another split, recent split. Sorry, I'm incredibly dry-mouthed at the moment. Decent price range as well, 4s, 3s. Couple days of consolidation post-split so far. Are they Chinese? Yeah, I remember them. Chinese as well, just careful. Can they pump? Yes, but like, and let's go historically for them really fast. Here's 2023 reverse split. They just kind of pumped immediately. Not on big volume. For those who are like, how many splits can they do? I believe the ratio is 1 for 250 within a 2-year period, I believe is the ratio. So they could do as many fucking splits as they want, as long as it stays within that. And there are other rules too. You know, they have to maintain certain float amount and share counts and stuff like that. Their last split, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. It looks like they may have PR'd or something like that, but they closed near their lows. So it wasn't a successful pump. If they pumped at all, it wasn't a ton of volume or follow through. So just keep that in mind. These guys are a Chinese pump and dump. Okay. That's what these are, Chinese pump and dumps. Same sort of idea here, right? Here kind of be your daily support right around that 3 area. So if I'm trying to build a position for a PR, a positive PR, that's the area I would work risk-wise. Post-split high becomes important to me. I don't like when post-split high is over day 1's high like this. Don't really love the chart. Okay. Oof. There's a lot more splits right here than I thought there would be. We've got obviously SMX, right? So now we're getting to the very next days. Here's ASNS. Stock split occurred. I understand this. No real volumes come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in day 7. They went from the 3s to the 2s. Floats low, companies US, tech, communication, cyber hardened, hybrid fiber carper net solutions. Okay. Military and shit. They've got 0.14 and more ATM, 0.49 in warrants, not that much in terms of that. In terms of shares to dump, $6.15 seems to be that mark for them there. $3.70 not registered warrants. Okay. Here's ASNS. Same sort of idea. There's your daily lows. Here's your post split high. That's the range that I think about when I'm working a swing idea. Okay. But also once the daily, like if you get your PR or not as well. So there's an idea that could potentially work. And here's the main thing. It's not that I just load all these tickers. Okay, but it's that I know the tickers, that they're on a separate watch list. If they PR, I can set alerts on my email and my to my cell phone within all of my brokerages and my platforms, and I'm ready, so I can have a plan. In other words, if a PR comes out, and I want to be specifically ready to deploy this strategy right now. Does that make sense? I've not been doing it. This is not something exercise I've been doing for months and months and months and months. Okay? This is what I do now. ASNS. EPWK. Another. Pump and dump. Okay? That's what a pump and dump looks like. Classic pump and dump. Offering, pump and dump, reverse split. Okay, that's what you see. This is the cycle that I talk about. You have to know what part of this cycle that you're in, of the pump or the dump. Okay, are you on the front side of the pump? Or are you in the back side of it? I like to be on the front side of it if I can. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't stink as much. Especially when it's a dim sum dump. A Chinese dim sum dump, right? That's what that is. That is what a Chinese dim sum dump looks like. Just like that. Especially on days I eat chicken's feet. Anyways. I'll take the cream of some young guy. Okay. Nah. They're holding up decent. Okay. You can see these are all quite a liquid right now. But they are all going on a watch list for me. Every single one of these. Not every single one of these, but some of these. Still, my favorite, my number one is Migi. M-I-G-I in my mind. It sounds silly. Wait till you do this process and you start picking the right stocks. You're going to be like, what the fuck am I like? Whoa. You're going to be playing a way different game than everyone else plays, which is just chase shit around. I promise you. I fucking promise you. You're going to build a playbook. You're going to be smart about where you go, and you're going to understand, listen, volume will flow here based off of this. Volume will flow here based off of this. The scan, your tools will come together with your knowledge, and you will have months where you go through this process that I'm showing you right now, and it spits out 1 or 2 tickers, and they both smack, and you have a month where you're batting 90, 95%. You're going to have months where you do this, and you're batting nothing. You're batting 10 or 15 or 20%. But if you're getting great risk-reward profiles, like I teach, it doesn't matter anyways. Those months happen, and you adjust. We adjust to drawdown and cyclical changes in the markets, right? Fundamental changes, bad luck, changes in our personal lives, which none of us are immune to, myself included, right? Anyways. Go through these tickers. EPWK, right? We got NCEW. Find the lower floats that aren't already running. This is an example of a ticker where it's what, day 8, and could they run it? Yeah. And would I not be there? I would just won't be in it. Okay. Because that's what it looks like post split. I like the opposite. Okay. I like the opposite. I assume when these things are climbing on low volume that they're going to start to hit levels where they have shares to dump. Okay. And they start to get extended on lighter volume, if that makes sense as well. Doesn't mean they can't run. It just means they run without me. That's not how I like to see them set up. YDKG, Chinese looking pump, maybe a DAT. Let's check it out. That looks daddy to me. YDKG, digital multimedia, Chinese, Beijing, in-flight solutions, AirNet powered Chinese airlines, immersive internet connections, RAN-based beacons, all that good shit. Okay. The Chinese technology. Big pump and dump. Big liquidation pump and dump. Then the ones. Hasn't really traded volume since. Same idea there. Post split. Unless one of the other Chinese pumps runs, which it could. If one of the Chinese reverse split Chinese pump runs though, right? Yet tomorrow, then fuck, we got like 7 or 8 more to look at. Yeah. And they'll all start to fuck around too. That's what happens. It's how that Momo works, like I mentioned earlier. Let me just finish this list for my own satisfaction. This is no longer for you. This is now for me. One sec. And then I'm done. Walk. You can't tell me that walk ain't Asian. Oh, I went down too far. Sorry. Hold on. There's SMX. YDKG. YGMZs. I'm pretty sure Chinese. Mingzhu Hardings Limited. Okay, no thank you. Looks like they did a split and then a fucking offering or something. That's ugly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so here's an example of a reverse split dump, right? This is an example of worst case scenario possible. Okay, worst case scenario possible with this setup. Okay, that's the worst case scenario, whatever the fuck they did right there. And you're going to get this much more often with companies like Mingzhu Logistics Holding Limited. Okay, I try to be very, very careful with Chinese pumps, period. I don't care what it is. Specifically, the only time I've been badly burnt post split has been on Chinese pumps. They don't give a frying fuck, right? Excuse my French. Yeah. So that's worst case scenario. It's very rare that you see them do this. If you get caught up in something like this, that sucks. It's just worst case scenario. That's worse, the worst luck you can have, but it also comes with the territory of being long overnight a Chinese pump. Okay? Specifically. It's said to me once they do that offering, by the way. Now they're getting into bottom bounce territory and other stuff. Okay, you guys, I gotta fucking go. This has been too long. You guys get the point, right? There's a list of about 10 stocks that if they pop on my thing tomorrow, I will have much more conviction and want to smack. And by tomorrow, I mean, Friday. It's the funniest thing ever, Ricky. I used to say that shit when I was little all the time. That's what I say, Ricky. Isn't that crazy, man? Just here fucking with Americans like this? It's good. It gives us plays. It gives us inefficiencies. Okay. And that's our goal. Find the inefficiencies. Front side, take them long if we can. Backside, find a predictable bounce area and scalp those areas. Or short backside. Okay. Anyways, much love. Friday's a half day, but tomorrow morning, be here. 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be like this, except more structured lessons. My setup, strategies, everything I think is going to help get you going into 2026. All right. Make sure you smash the like, comment down below, share this with a friend. Make sure you're following me on socials. All right. Roland Wolf Trades on Instagram. X, I think is what? Roland Wolf 86. You guys got me here on Roland Wolf Trades on TikTok as well. All right, we're putting out a shit ton of content for you guys and making sure that you're taken care of. Everything else is the same. I'll tell you to buy through highs of opening ranges and shit. Nothing's changed. Oh, 100% on Friday, Ricky. That's my goal. But either way, tomorrow we'll be going through my latest trades as well in detail. All right, my friends. Black Friday's going on through the weekend. Make sure that you use those links, is the cheapest that we're going to be. We did add monthly options for you guys as well for everything. So make sure you jump in. If anyone wants to work with me one-on-one going into December, we're down to 4 spots left for that group of 10. It's a 4-month program. All right. It's a 4-month intensive program. Again, just a group of 10. So make sure you holler. I don't know if we've got a link to that, but here's one for you. If you want to jump on the schedule for Apex one-on-one interview, it is interview only because I will be working intimately with you and going through your trades and your strategies and setups and breaking everything down and, you know, giving you a playbook at the end of the day, helping you develop your own playbook with the idea of being able to scale. And it's, you know, people say it's a marathon, not a sprint. This is a sprint. It's a 4-month sprint with me. It's a marathon because there's a lot to learn, but especially for those who have a lot of knowledge already, it's often a matter of just putting the ducks in a row correctly. Okay. Have an amazing fucking Thanksgiving, you guys. If I don't see you tomorrow, but show up in the morning. Show up in the morning with me. We'll put in some work. So much to be grateful for, right? Mad grateful for all you wolves out there. And we will see you guys all tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. All right. If you guys have anything specifically you want me to get into tomorrow, comment that question down below for me. All right. If there's anything specific you want me to get into tomorrow, let me know down below and I'll try to address that tomorrow if I can and I have time. All right. All right, y'all. Much love. See you in the morning. Have an amazing, 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 amazing Thanksgiving with family and friends. Hopefully it's full of love. Peace.